Hello, everyone. If you've landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Romero, and I thank you for joining me this evening. We have a lot to talk about. I mean, a lot to talk about. It's crazy what's going on out there right now. Let's see who's joined us. Hi, Francine. Good to have you. I can't wait till summer. I need a tan. It's like too much light, and my skin is too light all of a sudden. Um, so the war is already, it's not even a war, it's a conflict. It's got, the Democrats all up in arms, and of course they're already lying and scheming, and it's really pathetic, and it breaks my heart to hear what some of them have had to say about the conflict and about our soldiers. It's just, I can't even believe that they are going to stand behind these comments that they're making. Hi, Professor. Good to have you. Hi, Lucille. Good to have you. And Angela Ricca. Good evening, Angela. And Kevin Young. Good to have you. I'm right behind him. Kevin from Australia. I actually have a news clip from Australia tonight, Kevin. Thank you for joining us from the other side of the world. And Debbie Lebedo is with us. And Mickey Patrides. How are you doing, Mickey? Good to have you tonight. Hope mom is well. And I understand the snow in New York is melting. Let me know if that's true or not. Hi, Karen. Thank you for watching. Hey, Karen, are you getting a lot of snow too, or was that just the East Coast that was suffering all that snow? Just, curious to know. All right. So there's so much to talk about. That we're going to talk about Epstein files and him being an asset, possibly a spy, but for everybody, kind of crazy stuff. And that was sent to me by one of our viewers to look into, and actually it's panning out. Maisie had sent that to me. Hello, Colleen. How are you? Just East Coast. Okay, well, that's good. At least you're warmer. Now we are getting a week of rain with temps going to the 60s. Well, that's what you need. You need everything to be flushed out and flushed away so everybody could get out of their house. Yes, melting going on. Okay, well, that's good at least. Maybe you could get sanitized, from the cold. Who knows? But anyway, so much going on. So I'm going to start with Trump's commentary today about the UK. I don't know if you all saw it, but I'm going to put this up.
I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
I just love that he will call out people like that. He's talking about Diego Garcia Island, and it doesn't belong to the UK anymore, but they do have a lease on it. And some of the international consultants were saying that Trump could have just landed on the island, and really there was nothing that the UK could have done, and that's true. But he follows the rules. He pushes the envelope, but he follows the rules, and he's really upset with them because they're not really working with us. They've got a toe in, they've got planes flying, but they're not really working with us. But they had no problem when he was talking about Greenland. They had no problem sending troops, right? France and Spain and Germany, UK. Here's that clip from Australian News.
This is the support that Greenland needs, a military show of force that sends a strong signal to the White House that NATO is present in the Arctic. It started in the dead of the night with Denmark sending in the Air Force. France's Emmanuel Macron has also sent a team of French soldiers and has promised more deployments in the days ahead by land, air and sea. He made these comments after convening an emergency Defence Cabinet meeting to discuss US President Donald Trump's intention on acquiring Greenland. Other allies, including Germany, Norway, Sweden, the Netherlands and the UK, are also sending in reinforcements.
So it seems that our big thorn in the side continues to be France, which is just remarkable to me. I mean, they have let their country be overrun with Muslims, with refugees from South Africa and from Iran and from Palestine. And they are just selling their country out. You would not even recognize the streets of France anymore. We've seen it in Dublin too. But so France seems to be the big problem here. And then the UK is following France, which is really interesting and very irritating for our cousin. Yeah. Flesh out the Dems. Yeah, really. The Dems are melting too. Well, they're melting down and they're grasping. They are crazy. They're absolutely crazy. I didn't know about all those troops in Greenland. Oh, yeah. That was a couple months ago when we were talking about Greenland. I think it was in 25. Yeah, I think it was before the new year that all happened. Hi, Maisie. Maisie, I did some investigation into the links that you into the Facebook post you sent me, and some of it was right. Some of it was right. We're going to talk about it. He's taking notes, filing his mental, in his mental filing cabinet. Yes, absolutely. Hello, Andrew Dorman. Good to have you. So yeah, I want to play you what Hakeem Jeffries said today. He did two things that are interesting. I'm going to play you this clip, and I'm going to race a little bit because I do want to get to the Epstein files and that conversation. Well, first, you know what? Before I do that, before I play Hakeem Jeffries, I want to show you something. I want to show you the CBS News poll that came out, which people are saying, Americans are saying that they approve of Trump's military action as long as it only takes days or weeks. If it starts to take months or years, of course, the approval goes down. And I think we all agree with that. And that's, I think, surprising to a lot of Democrats that happened. But there was another poll. And this poll was on X, and it was Representative Massie, the one that doesn't stand for anything. It's just a big thorn in Trump's side, and all the Republican side. He put up a poll on X asking people if they supported Congress debating on the Iran conflict. And when he saw the results, he took it down. Look, have a look at this. Do you, the American people, think Congress should debate the objectives of war with Iran and vote on whether to wage war so the mission for our military is defined? Congress should debate, 24%. No, trust the president, 40%. And just end the war now, 36%. They kind of neck and neck with the trust the president, just end the war now. But trust the president beats out debate. I mean, let Congress debate was, half, just under half of the people said, yeah, we don't need Congress. They are so full of themselves. They think that they're so brilliant. I don't understand why they think that people really respect them. They don't. People don't. Hey, everybody, this is Al. Say hi to Al. That's his new account, Soul's Victory, and go on there and check out his music. He's been making music, and it's really, really good. So check it out. The U.S. wasted their time defending the U.K. during World War II. Yeah, and France. Right, and France. Yes, it's crazy. Congress debate. He's nuts to even put that up there. Yeah, well, he took it down really quick. So, but and here's kind of the reasons why people are pissy with Congress, I think. This is Hakeem Jeffries today. This just blew my mind.
No indication that Iran had reconstituted its nuclear program. There's no indication that Iran was prepared to strike the United States preemptively or to strike any of our interests in the region. And there certainly is no justification for a regime change war. The American people want us to focus on making their life better, making their life more affordable, not getting involved in another endless war in the Middle East that is going to end in failure. This administration somehow found the resources, has found billions of dollars for bombs, but can't find any money to actually bring down the high cost of living here in the United States of America.
So an endless war. We're in day 4 of the conflict, and he's now defined it as an endless war. But worse yet, he's told all of the troops there that it's going to end in failure. So does he have a crystal ball? Is he psychic? What the hell? I mean, don't they realize that troops watch the news? That don't they realize that their words go out on the internet to everybody? Don't they realize that the military does not want to hear that you have no confidence in them? I mean, I have heard people call what's his name? Kane, General Kane, a lackey and unintelligent. I have heard people say that this is a game of checkers. And I can't imagine how these Democrats believe that when you connect all the dots. Just in the conversations we've had here, we have more knowledge of what's going on than it seems like these Congress people do. It's absolutely crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Oh, good. Everybody's saying hi to Al. Let's see. France has always been a problem. They have always been a problem. And they're just showing their colors. He's, as you said, he's got to take notes and jot it down. What are the Iranian citizens doing now? Not just the organized opposition. Is there a real movement to take over? Yes, they're in the streets, and the president had said that he is not going to do the regime change, but he might support them by giving them weapons, militia of the people. If that's what they want. I'm sorry, 1 minute. I was out cutting bushes again today, and I should have taken allergy medicine before I came on air, but I didn't want to fall asleep. Okay, no indication in his opinion is valid if we get attacked. No, he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. But it gets worse. It gets much, much worse. So I'm going to play you some more. Okay, Al, everybody loves you and they miss you. The military sign up for a time like this. Yeah. I'm sorry, they do. I'm sorry. Oh, that's just terrible. I'm really sorry about that. How does he want to use more money to reduce prices? How does that work? Oh, well, give it away, right? Give it away. That's what he wants to do. That's what Democrats always do. Rob from Peter to pay Paul. Let's see. Hey, my friend, well, he didn't get the price of eggs done on day 1. Yeah, it's really a problem. Trump said it. They're crazy. Yeah, they are. They've lost their mind. The CIA has armed the Kurds to fight the IRGC on the ground. I guess then that's what's happened. I knew he was planning it. I didn't know it happened. I heard France surrendered. I hope so. Notice how dumb Hakeem sounds. Democrats keep U.S. in wars for years, like Vietnam. Well, that's why they think it's going to be an endless war, because that's what their presidents do, right? I heard the son of Khomeini was put as head of the regime. That's what they're saying now, is that it's confirmed that he is now the head. And he's just as radical. Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Much love and respect. Okay. The French act like that we're doing us a favor by letting us pull their ass out of a fire twice. Yeah. Well, that's the French way, isn't it, though? It's the French way to do that. Take a swallow of olive oil. I would, but I'd have to get up. Okay. I'm going to play you. This one burns my ass. I mean, burns my ass. Listen to this question and answer.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. Back in 2011, Nancy Pelosi said that then President Obama didn't need congressional approval to bomb Libya. Now House Democrats say President Trump needs that approval to bomb Iran. What's the difference?
Well, obviously, Libya and the circumstances connected to that were very different than the circumstance that we face in Iran right now. I mean, I don't even understand the genesis or basis of that question. Not suggesting that you're not asking it in good faith.
Libya went on for 7 months.
As I've indicated, first of all, I was not in Congress at the time. So we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now, which is a catastrophic, endless war, as Donald Trump has characterized it, without any justification that there was going to be a preeminent assault or attack on the United States of America, either in our homeland or as it relates to our interests in the Middle East. The administration is not even pretending like they have intelligence or information at this point, publicly. And certainly there's been nothing that has been presented to us privately to justify a preemptive strike of this nature that has triggered an all-out war in the Middle East. And by the way, Donald Trump is the one who said in the aftermath of the 12-day war that Iran's nuclear program has been completely and totally obliterated. Not my words, his words. So was he lying to the American people then, or is he lying now?
I mean, come on. An endless war. So 4 days is an endless war. All right, Afghanistan wasn't. I can't. I don't want to wave my hands in front of the camera. I don't want to carry on, but I cannot even. I learned a long time ago that people who talk down like that are not taken serious and shows insecurity. Thank you. My brother appreciates it, and thank you so very much, Ramon. Other Muslim countries and other top anti-American countries are against our military involvement in Iran. I'm sure that a lot of Muslim countries and China and Russia, which tells me that we're doing the right thing. If they were, I mean, we need to stop trying to appease other countries. We are America. We are big. We are bad. We are, an economic powerhouse. We need to demand the respect that we deserve instead of kowtowing to everybody else and carry them on our shoulders. We have been pussified by these previous presidents. Finally, the pussification of America is over. Finally. Hakeem looks like a Tim Burton character. Well, he is a nightmare. That's for sure. Isn't the Ayatollah so trying to take over? His son, yes, they named him apparently. I want to see how long it lasts. I mean, they've gone down the chain of command. No matter who says what, Trump moves forward for the USA and the world. That is the truth. I bought a World War II French rifle. It's like new, only dropped. Very good. America does not reason with terrorists. The best solution is to bomb them and send those bastards straight to hell. Listen, when you're dealing with a theocracy who believes that it's okay to lie to get ahead, then how do you make deals with them? What the JACOP, the deal that Obama made with Iran, you can't trust a deal like that because their job is to lie. Allah and Muhammad say it's okay to lie, as long as you're moving the agenda forward. So how do you deal with that? I mean, when you know that that is a core, more part of their principles, there's no morality in that. You're not going to make a deal with like a racist or somebody that is a known liar. So how could we even believe that Obama's deal was going to stand with them? We couldn't. He should have answered and said, I have TDS. Don't you people get it? That answer was ridiculous. First of all, I wasn't in Congress. First of all, you weren't in Congress. What does that matter? History plays a part in what happens today. You're trying to harken back to forever wars. Well, if 4 days is a forever war, what were all the other wars that we were involved in? What was Libya? What was Afghanistan? What were all those other things? Eons? Crazy. How people take him seriously is beyond me. Hakeem, you are talking really dumb now. I mean, dumber than usual. Oh my God, Jeffries is so fucked up. So fucked up. And I'm going to play that everywhere. I want everybody to see that. That deflection was, I mean, they play to their audience, and their audience is dumb. There's no all-out war in the Middle East. They're with us. Yes, that is true. Hakeem is bitching because Trump took out the Iranian regime, so I guess he's worried about his campaign funds. Maybe. Maybe. Amen. We need to awaken Americans. Jeff, absolutely. We've got to share the show. We've got to talk about it. We've got to move it. We've got to get people talking intelligently. Let those terrorists rest in pieces. Yes, very good. Hakeem talks like a child. He talks like a third grader because he believes that that's what his base is. That's what, in my opinion, to stop the pussification, be a total dick. I love it. Love it. You may have addressed this, but wasn't the building bombed while they were picking the Khomeini successor? That was the second time. They did it twice. They got rid of Khomeini, then they got rid of the successor the other day, and then they bombed them again this morning. So every time they pick a successor, it's gone. Absolutely can't trust them. No. America is now wearing the pants again. The last administrators put us in trans state. Oh, that's good. Forever war is profit. Yeah. And that's not what this is about. Okay. I just want you to look at this. It might go by fast, but this is Hakeem Jeffries' work. Look at the script dropped and look at what they're saying. Now just look at Trump's face. All the arrogance gone. No pride left. The bravado has drained away. What's left? I mean, this is all the same words over and over and over again on X accounts, because that's what they do. That's called propaganda. And you know who used propaganda like that? Fascists do. And that's Hakeem Jeffries' work. That man that just tried to pivot, that man who just tried to deflect, that's what he's doing. The man who can't answer a question straight out. Well, I'm asking about Libya, same situation, same scenario. That lasted 7 months. I wasn't in Congress then. Is that an answer? Is that an answer for the American people? He's demanding answers, but that's not an answer. Okay, what are we going to get to? All right. I want to get to Jeffrey Epstein a little bit. So I couldn't read all the files myself, so I asked Grok to do it. And I asked if he was an asset, Epstein, and the answer was yes. It looks like he was an asset. He apparently, Epstein, was an asset. He didn't have a loyalty. I wanted to know if he was against America, but what they're saying is that he was allegedly a Mossad asset using blackmail in the 1980s to advance Israeli interests, possibly compromising U.S. leaders to ensure pro-Israel policies. Claims from insiders, ex-Israeli intel officer Ari Ben Menashe said Epstein and Maxwell ran a honey trap for Mossad in the 1980s. An FBI memo from the 2020 described Epstein as a co-opted Mossad agent trained as a spy. there are books out there like One Nation Under Blackmail and statements from victims. Maria Farmer allege a Jewish supremacist blackmail ring tied to Mossad and groups like the Mega Group. X posts heavily promote this, with users like Matt Gaetz claiming Epstein compromised figures for Mossad to sustain Iraq war support. And it goes further. I mean, even Russia. Theories claim Epstein was recruited by Russian organized crime or intelligence as early as the 1970s and 80s, post-Soviet collapse, using his network to gather compromising material on U.S. elites. So, and of course, Britain. He had links to the UK, Saudi Arabia, and at the end of the day, he was selling. It looks like there's nothing concrete yet, but from what you can gather from the files, we've been saying it here. It's been more than sex and sex trafficking. This has been international conspiracy. And with Maxwell was, well known to be an asset. He Robert Maxwell, he actually was an asset. The CIA confirmed it. So his daughter, Ghislaine, was hooking up Epstein. So you were right, Maisie. And there's more to it, and I'll get to more to it. Not tonight, but yeah. Better late than never. Hi, Mom. No, got rid of his son. Yeah, that'll happen too. Jeffries, AOC, Schumer, Mamdani, what has happened to New York? Yeah, well, New York is gone. I mean, I'm sorry to say New York is gone. Click that link. I don't know what it's about, but maybe you'll tell us, Professor, because I can't click it. I don't know if America and true Americans buy the shit they are spewing. No one I speak to or see. I don't think that they do. Otherwise, that CBS poll, and CBS is no friend of Trump or conservatives. I think that I don't think that CBS poll would have come out that way if they were buying it. And that the CBS viewers are more left than right. Hi, Corey. Any concerns about the terrorists living amongst us with all the years of open, wide borders? Also, if this war doesn't end soon, the potential damage of how weakened our military might be now be due to all the wokeness over the years. No. Okay. Oh, shit. I hope everything's okay. I hope you can still see me. Yeah, you can still see me. Something just blinked here. Get a burner if you can't have a gun where you live. If there are, guns are not easily accessible, get a burner. If you have guns, if you can get a gun, get a gun. We need to be vigilant, in my opinion. And I just said to my husband, I know we're old, but we should volunteer for the Guard in our state. We all need to do our part, but we all need to be vigilant. And I think it's going to be up to the old people to kind of save America. Now, as far as our military weakened, absolutely not. Trump got rid of all the DEI people, and he now has people in place who actually joined to do exactly what is happening right now, to free people who have been living under a dictator. Pro-Israel. That, the old Israel was an interesting Israel. Netanyahu got rid of them because they were corrupt. So that was a corrupt Israel back in the 80s. It was really tough. We saw some of this in the fall of Cabal. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff connecting. WikiLeaks exposed some of it too. Yeah. And that's why Adrian Assange has been arrested, right? And still, I think he's still in jail. At the end of this, it all comes down to power and control. They just use confusion as a tactic. That is true, 100%. Supreme Court blocked the gerrymandering of New York 11. Yes, we talked about that yesterday. Whatever the link is must be good because Facebook has blocked it from being a link. because then we are less likely to copy and paste it in our browsers. Oh, interesting. Professor, what's that all about? You can't get a burner in New York City. Got to mail it to New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Really? That is insane. Well, am I surprised? No. All right. Did I show you Massie? Yeah, I did. Okay, so this one's kind of long, and you might not be able to hear it very well, but this is about security at our ballot box. This is an old clip, I think 2024. Somebody went undercover and got Joel Caldwell to talk about the Georgia elections, and he is a not-for-profit director, and he actually was running ballots, doing ballot harvesting. Watch.
Like the whole thing with the dome when they was counting, that was the big thing here, was the counting of the ballots at the dome. It was all counting the ballots, and they told them that it was a leak on the opposite side of the dome. Everybody needed to evacuate. So then when they all left, the Democrats went back in and started counting, and the Republicans went back to the headquarters. They didn't know.
You know that for a fact?
That's what happened. Yeah.
They made it seem like nothing like they legitimately had leak issues.
Yeah, so they had said it was leak issues. So you see them on the video putting everything up, and they left. No, they put someone putting stuff up, and then you see them leave. Then they was out in the parking lot when I guess they told them they could come back in. Or they was out in the parking lot and they was gonna go back to headquarters, and so the Republicans left, the Republican watchers. They all left, and so after they left, the Democrats went back in there and started counting. So that's the videotape. You see them when they're walking back in, pulling the shit out from underneath the tables, and during that hour. And then the other part was that when they were counting, I think during that hour, that stretch of that, it was only like less than 100 votes was counted for Trump. And just statistically, you're downtown, there's going to be more than 100 votes for Trump. That's what happened in 2020, because that's when the ballots, they started stuffing them ballots, and people stuffing them ballots, and they got videotape of it. But because nobody talks about it. So that's why Trump been making that big deal about it, because you see it on videotape. It's like, we see the man pull up and put 100 ballots in his box. You can't do that shit. So Bruce was paying people to do just that. Drop off ballots, go around, collect ballots, collect absentee ballots, drop them off.
In the documentary, they never said what groups. They just said investigations was being launched into different so they never mentioned it.
They didn't name the orgs.
They didn't name the orgs, but they
All this is
so I just always been waiting on that shit to drop, because I was like, well, yeah, they're gonna do an investigation, and they got the evidence, because they were showing that in the documentary, the closed caption TVs of people pulling up. I told somebody when I got to the office, because one of the cars in the video I recognized, because they always at the building.
Who was it?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was a union member or something.
Probably.
But that was like when I first started. They just had one of them weird cars that
stood out.
That stood out. That I was like, I know who that. I was like, yeah, that's rare. Yeah, I knew they were doing stuff like that though. Because that's how they did. That's how they got one of the mayors in. They was dropping ballots in the boxes and stuff. Normally,
around here?
Yeah, in Metro Atlanta. For the mayor's race in Atlanta. So what they normally do is how they do it. When you're trying to steal a race, you're not trying to, like, if you got Republican districts and Democrat districts, you're trying to get the Democrat, right, elected with it.
Well, they're going to do it again in 2024, though.
What, get all that they not on ballot? Harvest them ballots and shit.
Yeah.
That's why the Republicans are always trying to fight about, that's the argument of the whole thing, is because Republicans, they're the ones who put out that kind of stuff. So they want to do like voter IDs and stuff, but Democrats will, fight voter ID laws. So so it's that two-sided thing. Right? That's what they fighting over. Republicans are trying to say like, hey, look, we got the proof of this, And Democrats are like, well, we don't want voter ID laws, and we want to make it where you can just drop your ballot off, online voting, different things that they try to come up with.
Dang.
Okay, so we've all seen, and Kevin says he's seen enough videos to know that it was stolen. The thing is that people are going undercover now because journalists no longer do. Why don't journalists go undercover anymore? Because if they report this, and they are an accredited news organization, then Google or Grok or ChatGPT or Alexa or whatever else can come out and say that it's verified. So they're not doing it anymore. So if you Google something, it will tell you that certain things aren't true, because it's not being reported by the mainstream media or legacy media. That's how they get the Google algorithm to deny that things are happening. And that's what they did in 2020. That's what they did with COVID. We've seen them do it over and over again. So thank God for these people willing to go undercover to do this stuff. Yeah, it really is. It's unreal. And again, they put a disclaimer. He just claimed this stuff. Whether it was true or not, who knows? But this is what he told her. And why would he tell her that, I wonder? It looked like he was trying to have dates with her and impress her. Why would he lie? What does he gain from it? We were sold out for pistachio nuts by POTUS Carter. You're right. You're right. And we talked about that. We talked about Carter. We talked about Reagan. We talked about the Bushes, especially Bush 1, who I never trusted. Never, never, never. I mean, I don't trust a spook as president. Look at Putin. I don't want a spook leading my country. How can you oppose voter IDs? It's national security. Well, because you can't cheat when you have voter ID, right? Avon prison, 1979 to Iran. Okay, but give more context because I've got to talk. And so either you have to give more context. I'm not going to go explain the whole thing. If Trump had his 8 years straight, the world would be in a much better place. Yeah, maybe. No, you're right. It would have. It would have. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because he would have been able to finish out. And if he was able to maintain the Congress, see, Chucky and Nancy were, stopping him at every turn. And we might see that again now because gas is up because of the conflict with Iran. And who knows how long that gas is going to stay up. He's going to have to do something at home, and we don't need prices going up again. That's the one thing that we don't need. But he's willing to sacrifice his legacy to save others, and that's amazing to me. I mean, that's amazing. That's something that no other president would do. Media and news reporters are responsible for all the issues we have now, at least the past 25 years, since the beginning of time. I have a book about the newspapers in the Civil War and how only certain papers got to use the telegraph to get their stories in, and how the truth was spun. So it's been going on forever. Very interesting about Google verification. Yeah, that's what happens. If the big four don't report it, then it didn't happen. I use DuckDuckGo for searches. Same thing. Yeah, you're going to have the same thing. Whoever's using AI, if AI searches the internet, so the stuff that you want searched has to come from the internet. If the big news organizations don't confirm it, they're not going to say it's true or not. It doesn't matter if the DOJ confirms. It doesn't matter if the government confirms. The news organizations have to confirm. Very interesting. Best thing about the 4 years that Trump was screwed out of the election is that he planned the next 4 years, and that's why it's so successful today. And also people got to see what it was like to have a brain dead president. If he won 2020, we wouldn't have all these illegals. That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah. My stomach turns when I think about it. Google says Renee Good was a black woman. Yes. I've seen headlines where, it's clear the photograph is clearly of a black man, but because we don't want to disparage a black man, the caption will say white man. I mean, it's crazy what's going on right now. It's crazy. Disinformation is all around us. It's scary, but listen, I just want to say this. We're living in a unique time where you and I can make a difference in the world. For years, ordinary citizens were workaday bees, just doing, living their life and not getting involved and not making a difference, just doing what their government, told them to do, because propaganda was being spewed by the big three news organizations. We're in a world where our voices count, and they can be echoed and they can be amplified. So us talking makes a difference. Let's see. DuckDuckGo, I get different responses than Google. Interesting. So how would you verify if something's true? Where do you go for that? Oh, wait, your show. What I do is I go to mostly international news because they still have reporters there, but it's very tough. Sometimes I have to verify through 3 or 4 sources before I get the truth. Like when Massie sent me the Facebook post, I said to her, I'm not doubting that it happened. I just have to verify that it's so. And I wanted to see the documents with my own eyes. I wasn't able to read everything, but I'm sorry, I'm chewing that stopped my cough. I had Grok go through the document to pull it all together and see if what the likelihood would be that he would be a spy. And the likelihood was high based on everything that's contained in all those millions of documents, videotapes, and pictures. Okay, we ran long again. I've got to go. I will see you tomorrow at 8:00. We'll talk some more. There's lots more out there. Love you all. Thank you. Share the show. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Thanks all.